Hey folks, it's Sam. I'm making this video about the LA fire. Very sad and tragic circumstance, and I haven't wanted to say much about it because it's a sort of tragedy. And as it says here, that I predict it. And I'm going to show a few things here that I did say about this. And we're even going to look at a video of me from my member forecasts because every week I do several forecasts. I do the week ahead, both the regular week ahead, then the Vedic week ahead, and then also a monthly forecast. And so these are some screenshots from the Vedic week ahead last week when these fires happened. And so we're going to look at some clips, and I'm going to explain the Vedic astrology behind these fires. And again, it's a real tragedy, just a terrible situation. So I just want to say before I dive in, please subscribe, get notified to ongoing updates at the channel as well. And please leave a positive comment. That does help. And again, liking the video and sharing it as well. So many times I get comments and they're like, oh, thank you so much, so much. Best way to thank me really is to, again, leave the comment, but also share it. There's a share button under this video where you could share it on your YouTube, on your Facebook, or whatever. So with that in mind, let's talk about this. Now, I'll get to the did I predict it part, and I will tell you, not directly, but I definitely fiery thing. You'll see that the forecast on this day, on January 7th, was the day was Tuesday, ruled by Mars. The nakshatra was Ashwini, and the moon had just gone into Aries. So this is what I do with my forecasts every week. And you see down here it says join, but those forecasts I talk about every day of the week, both the regular forecast without the Vedic, what's called Panchanga, and also with the Vedic Panchanga. So what I saw this week was we started off, the moon was in Pisces on Monday the 6th, and I even said that the real year began this week because again we had New Year's Day was in the middle of the previous week, and I said really the year starts on this day because this is right at the beginning of this full week where we're starting 2025, not in the middle of the week. And the moon is at that last sign on Monday in Pisces, but then on Tuesday, here we are right at the beginning, and it goes into Aries, that first sign, and we're off running. And so you'll see when I talk about the video that I'm talking about all these new beginnings, initiation, and then I describe things like Mars Day, Ashwini, and the horses running forward and all of that. No, I didn't predict there was going to be a major fire. But again, when we look at the chart, we can see what's happening on this day. You see this green arrow is pointing at the ascendant. And this is for like 10:30 a.m. on January 7th in Los Angeles. That's said to be the time when the Pacific Palisades fire started. There had been fires, I think some smaller fires maybe a little earlier, but this was the one that really started, it said, was at 10:30 a.m. and on Tuesday the 7th, on January 7th. And then you see here next to it is January 8th and the Indian calendar, which I'll talk about as well. But at that time, at 10:30, the ascendant had just gone into Pisces. Now, again, it had just gone over Saturn. If you back this up 10 minutes earlier, 15, 20 minutes earlier, the ascendant was in Aquarius. Then it went over Saturn in Aquarius. And then here we have at 10:30, the ascendant is like 1 degree of Pisces. And again, so, and it's also joined Rahu. Now, again, Pisces is this sign of like confusion, not paying attention. So someone might have been not paying attention to something or what have you. Now, again, you see that the moon had just gone into Aries, into Ashwini Nakshatra. That's that MO, and it's ASH, and it's in Aries. So again, like I said in the forecasts, this was the start of really the real cycle of the year really started. And we're going to remember 2025 started with the fires in California. It set off a whole bunch of other things in motion. In addition, we also have Mars is debilitated over here, and Mars is the ruler of Aries. Mars and the moon are in an exchange, what's called parivartana. The moon is in Mars's sign, Mars is in the moon's sign. Mars is debilitated and retrograde. So there are other things here. And again, we also have this Panchanga, which really shows the difference. The Tithis, the Vara, which is the ruler of the day, and the Nakshatra, which I'm going to go over.
Tuesday and Wednesday, the moon is in Aries, where there's a lot of enthusiasm and passion. It's like a new cycle, a new beginning with the moon in Aries. This is the first time we've had the moon go through Aries in 2025, so it's like a new beginning. It sort of feels like the year is beginning now because we got New Year's in the middle of the week. So the beginning of this week is like being shot out of a cannon, and especially on Tuesday and Wednesday with the moon going through Aries, it's like things are going to feel real. We're now really moving forward. So you want to be aware of the need to be patient and to not get frustrated. Then also Tuesday, which is ruled by Mars. So there's that fighting spirit come alive today with the moon in Aries for the next couple days. Ashwini is the nakshatra, which is connected to two horses, and we want those two horses to be pulling forward, moving us forward quickly in life. It's like being born again, fast, and all of a sudden there's a new cycle upon us. But we want to be careful not to get distracted or just throw ourselves all over the place with Ashwini energy. And then Navami, Shukla Navami, the ninth lunar day on Tuesday. The ninth day has to do with a serpent energy where we may feel a kind of poisonous energy, that it's like the potential to feel kind of toxic energy, but it can also be where we transform that toxic energy and where we cultivate great emotional and spiritual power, like a serpent's power. Then on Wednesday, it's ruled by Mercury, which is about intelligence, discrimination, flexibility, curiosity. And the nakshatra is Bharani, which is literally from the same word, which means to bear and to endure stress, hardship, and create something powerful as a result. So this is a creative nakshatra, but it's creativity through forbearance and determination and effort. Like giving birth is the same kind of thing. And it's the 10th lunar day, Dashami, which is connected to Dharma, or a sense of righteousness, the god of righteousness, and Dharma, or truth, on Wednesday is important. So act in accordance with righteousness here on Wednesday. That's the key on this lunar day, Wednesday. Righteousness will pay big dividends on Wednesday. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars. So on those days, of course, we're going to feel
That's
that
from the monthly forecast.
sense
This
of
one is
renewal, sense of rebirth, renewal. The sign of Aries is where we are enthusiastic about a new cycle. So it can feel like a kind of reset there on the 7th. That's Tuesday the 7th. Everything is new again. There's often a kind of fresh enthusiasm and emotional energy when the moon goes through Aries. But we can be self-interested, focused on our own individuality, which again, it's not a bad thing, but compromises relationships with others. So on the 7th and 8th, it's that rebirth and a renewal.
so as you see, I didn't predict there was going to be a fire or anything like that, but you can see the sense of partly because this isn't about mundane predictions. This is about you living your life in alignment with the energy, right? So again, those forecasts are done. Again, I do, as you see here, I do a full moon and new moon for each of the 12 signs. I also do a general forecast for each week, and then I do a Vedic forecast where I talk about the Panchanga and the nakshatras. The first one was from the general forecast, second one was the nakshatras, and then the last one was from the monthly forecast that I also do. So these things are very powerful to allow us to stay in harmony. But again, so even when you are so aligned and when you're paying attention to those things, you don't have to see a total prediction about, oh, a wildfire or whatever. People were ready for that 7th and 8th. It's this Mars energy, this new thing. And by the way, even again, it's not a stretch to say that it's an unfortunate kind of rebirth. But even when you're born, you're cast out of the place you were in before, that Pisces womb of being stable and settled, and you're here, then you're blasted out into the world of like, ah! And in some ways, again, tragically, this kind of new beginning has come for many in this very harsh and cruel way. And I'm going to talk more about the Vedic Panchanga part in a second. When you click the join button below this video, you'll be allowed to become a member. Most join at the Oracle $29.99 per month. That level gives you numerous forecasts each month, full moon and new moon forecasts, 2 weekly forecasts, both the regular forecast and the Vedic week ahead, as well as exclusive courses like the Planets and Signs course, Planets and Houses course, the 2025 meditation, and also monthly meditation. So check it out. Yeah, if you do want to get these forecasts, there are different levels. The full $29.99 Oracle level is the one that most people get because you get all these forecasts. It's about 15 a month, 2 a week, and then a monthly, then a new moon and full moon, etc. So part of it is this Vedic Panchanga. And again, this is really the juice. This is the Vedic astrology at work. And you heard when I went over the forecast that as you see here, this first one, the Indian calendar, January 7th, 2025, mostly the Tithi, Var, and Nakshatra. These are the 3 things that the regular forecast doesn't give. I also give just a regular forecast of the planets and the signs, the moon here, and where the planets are arranged. But then each day, we analyze the moon. The Tithi is the lunar day. The Vara is the ruler of the day, the planetary ruler of the day. And the Nakshatra is the Nakshatra portion of space. And so again, when the fires began, it was Shukla Navami. Navami is ruled by Sarpa, or the serpent energy. Like I said, it's a toxic, poisonous energy where there's intense energy and activity that happens. It's one of the what are called Rikta Tithis, or the fierce and intense Tithis. There are 3 of them, the 4th, 9th, and 14th. So this Navami is an intense day where there's going to be this poisonous energy that we need to transform. We need to transform the intensity of like a serpent biting us and transform it into the great like elixir. Serpent energy is always this kind of potential danger, but holds the key and the promise to a rebirth and to a deeper exploration. And again, I don't want to be glib about this at all, but in some ways, this act will catapult some people into a whole new existence and consciousness. Again, I'm not being glib about it like, oh, yay. No. But transformation, loss, letting go is a big part of Navami, but it often happens through difficult things that we really don't want. So Navami is one of the most intense, and like I said in the forecast. So again, you see it in very dramatic display here, but in everyone's life, that was the nature of that day, right? Was Shukla Navami. The moon had just gone into Aries, which is bam, here I am, born, ready to live. Now again, it's born, but look at what happens when we're born. When we're born, we're cast out of that womb, that literally the Garden of Eden. The story of the Garden of Eden is a symbol of being born. We were in the Garden of Eden. We were just floating around in our mother's tummy. No worries, no cares in the world. And now, bam, here we are. What's the first thing we do? We like cry, we gasp for breath. It's like, a lot of people die in childbirth. I mean, they don't die as much now because we have modern medicine, but childbirth has always been a very dangerous thing. This transition between Pisces and Aries, this is why, like that Gandanta, for those of you who know, this transition is literally the transition from the from the cosmic liminal space to the embodied creature who is now breathing on his own and fighting for life, fighting for survival. And whether you or not, you are fighting for survival. And you're always aware that you might at any moment have to fight for survival. That's literally what Aries and Mars is about. And again, Mars is the ruler of Tuesday. And the moon went into Aries. And when you look at this, again, look at this moment when the fire broke out. The moon had just gone into Aries. Again, it's like it hadn't been there for 27 days. The moon's not in Aries that often. It had only been in Aries for a few hours, right? So again, and Aries is the beginning. It starts in Aries and it goes all around the signs. The very last nakshatra and the very last sign is Pisces. And again, in the forecast that you saw, that was for Tuesday, but the previous day was Monday, where that week I said, okay, this Monday is going to be like the last day where you're kind of still daydreaming a little bit. You're still in that kind of Pisces. You're still kind of not in 2025 yet. You're still hanging on. And then bam, Tuesday. This is the day when it's going to feel like, okay, now we're in it. That's the way I described it, right? So again, that's what Mars is. It's like now you're born. Now you're catapulted into life. We were catapulted into 2025 now. Whether we live in California or not many people percentage-wise live there, but look at how it's dominated the news. It's focused things like what our next president is going to be doing and acting, how he's going to be acting, how people around are going to be acting, what's going on. So it's kind of like the first, if we thought the future wasn't coming because we wanted to just kind of hang out no, the new reality isn't coming. We're awake to it now. No, it's here. And that's how I described it. By the way, that's how I described it in all the forecasts, right? That idea. So again, you see, it's also Tuesday, which is ruled by Mars, enormous amount of Mars energy, not just the moon in Aries. Ashwini is the first nakshatra, ruled by two horses moving fast. And again, there's no debate about the fact that Vedic astrology uses the sidereal zodiac. The first nakshatra of Aries is Ashwini. It's in every text. And again, those who say, oh, but you could use tropical zodiac signs and sidereal nakshatras and it still works. Again, these are the kinds of things that's like, no, it doesn't. Because again, in that context, Aries is still mostly in Pisces and all like that. So anyway, this is why that first part of the zodiac, like two horses, hit the ground running. And by the way, this nakshatra of Ashwini is also related to the wind and prana. And these fires have come from very dry land and hurricane winds blowing fire. So this very cruel Tithi, the moon going into Aries, it's Tuesday ruled by Mars. And again, the Vara, the Lord of the Vara. This is Mangalvar. Mangal is Mars, Vara is day, right? And so by the next day, again, it started on Tuesday and we were like, oh man, there's going to be, these wildfires. We hope they get them under control. Next day, the 8th, now we're in it. And since then, this nakshatra is called Bharani. Bharani, like I said, you heard in the videos. If you didn't, I'll refresh you. It's where it comes from the same word, which means to bear, like to bear the fruits of our karma, the fruits of our actions. We have to bear the results of our, and so this nakshatra of Bharani is ruled by a god called Yama, who is the god of consequences and restraints. It's being restrained and also having to persevere through our karmic debt and things like that. So the first nakshatra in Aries is Ashwini, which is that vitality and that energy moving very fast, like these two horses. And the energy can be scattered all over the place. The next nakshatra, Bharani, is where we need to bear the results of those actions and get serious, clear, organized, because we've given birth to something. And so often in botany, we feel the immense pressure and responsibility of the consequences. The Vara was Wednesday, which is ruled by Mercury, which is about ideas, figuring things out, making adjustments, trying new things. So again, you could see relative to the fire, at least, what are we going to do? Let's figure this out. Like it was more that nature on Wednesday. And it was Shukla Dashami. Dashami is ruled by the god Dharma. And the god Dharma, it's the god of doing what we know is right, following through on what's right. That's what Dharma is. Adhering to the truth, adhering to what we know to be right, not just expedient. So again, this is a terrible tragedy. There's other things I could say, particularly that this Mars is retrograde and this exchange between Mars and the moon. This exchange is one that is very difficult. Any exchange brings together and holds together the indicators. So what it means is that relative to all things considered, Tuesday was a day, Tuesday and Wednesday, as these were exchanging, where there could be success or achievement or accomplishment, even like in our personal life. And again, without being glib, because I don't mean to be, but to accomplish our goals, many times these what are called parivartanas, or these exchanges, show, even if it's a very difficult goal, like if there was a god of fire, if you wanted to have a fire, like you have this debilitated Mars, but it's exchanging with the ruler in Aries. So again, they magnify each other. They magnify and modify and support each other. But again, this is a way to say that it gives powerful results. And again, when our intentions are aligned with something positive, then it can give the result, but it can give the result in a cruel and harsh way. But it can also give a result that you don't want, like a lot of destruction. So this is also, again, a great lesson about parivartanas and about all of these kinds of things. Don't get into judging good or bad if you're trying to learn astrology. Results. The thing I always say about parivartana is they support results. Whatever the result is that we might be trying to get, they'll support the result. But it can be a very cruel kind of result if the planets are unfriendly to each other, if the dignities are unfriendly, like here, one of is retrograde and debilitated. The other one, the moon in Aries, is not very happy there. So you get this, but the exchange produces the result. And you see the result. So again, the Panchanga also showed it. And so this is definitely a sort of microcosm of how the energy works. And again, many times I don't even attempt to make literal predictions like this all the time, because I'm always doing these forecasts. I've been doing these types of forecasts for 15 years, where I'm always looking at, and you could say predicting, the energy of the day based on where the moon is going. I knew it was going to be a fiery, intense day like that. I don't always go, it's going to be fires this day or this or that, because again, these are personal for your personal life. But again, if you're interested in also knowing about this and taking a chance on these memberships, they're incredibly worth it. But again, besides that, our hearts go out to the people who are suffering with these fires. And I did just want to talk about this today. When you click the join button below this video, you'll be allowed to become a member. Most join at the Oracle $29.99 per month. That level gives you numerous forecasts each month, full moon and new moon forecasts, 2 weekly forecasts, both the regular forecast and the Vedic week ahead, as well as exclusive courses like the Planets and Signs course, Planets and Houses course, the 2025 meditation, and also monthly meditation. So check it out. For a limited time, I'm offering 10 hours of masterclasses, Yoga and Vedic Astrology, Quantum Vedic Astrology, and Spiritual Astrology Masterclass. These are 3 great courses that will really help you a lot. Now, in case you don't know who I am, I taught the AstroVed certification course, Dattatreya Shiva Baba, in 2010. Ravi Shankar published my book in 2018. I've been around for decades. I've been teaching these great classes, and if you go to VedicAstrologyEssentials.com, you can get this 90% off discount of these 3 great classes, more than 10 hours, guaranteed value. You can check this out. These 3 classes will give you all the necessary tools to begin to learn Vedic astrology. Please find me on YouTube at Sam Jeppy, Vedic Astrology Teacher. On there since 2007, thousands of hours of classes. Also on Facebook at Astrology Teacher, tons of articles updated regularly, and I'm on Instagram at Vedic Astrology 108, ongoing updates and interaction.